Welcome to Health Facts with Normani Ricks. I am your host, Normani Ricks. I like to start off each episode with a little known health fact. Did you know that the uterus is one of the strongest muscles in the body? I did not know that. The heaviest baby ever born weighed 22 pounds. So imagine carrying that in your uterus. I have the honor and pleasure of having Melesia Adderley with us today on the show. She is the CEO of Women's Haven. It is the first Caribbean owned organic period brand. Its products are sold in more than 12 countries and over 100 retail stores. That's an amazing, amazing thing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and I look forward to have
Yeah.
you.
I wanted to ask you when I read about you, I know this was born out of a personal struggle that you had.
Yeah,
So, can
yeah.
you please give the listeners some insight into like what started you on this journey?
Sure, no problem at all. I know as a question I always been asked, like, what got you into period care? Like, as women, we do not like our period. We don't want to be attached to that in any way. We're like, we can't wait to menopause and like get rid of it all. But yes, it did indeed start from a personal journey. When growing up, I used to have very uncomfortable menstrual cycles. Uncomfortable in the sense I used to be itchy. I used to feel like I was sitting on plastic, sort of like it just didn't feel right. I was very uncomfortable, irritations and stuff. I used to think it was only me. It's a topic. Us as women, we don't talk about these things, not even like close people, not even mom. No one really ever talks about this. But anyway, experiencing what I did, I came across the concept of organic pads online one day. And when I did, I was like, okay, what is this? At the time, it was 2016, so around that. 2015 around that time, and back then they were just throwing the word organic onto a lot of different products, and everybody was like, that's just a gimmick. How to get regulations around use of organic, natural, and so on and so forth. So I used to think it was a marketing gimmick. When I
Okay.
saw organic pads, I was like, so organic pads, so what are we using now? Non-organic pads? Like, why you have to be so upfront with this organic? So I thought it was a marketing gimmick. I didn't know it in my life, but 6 months later, I was like, I still feel an irritation. This thing said there's some organic pad supposed to make you feel better. I might as well try it. I purchased it, shipped it to me here in my country, and blew my mind. I
Wow.
was like, no way. Not something as simple as just pads gonna make me feel like this. So I thought it was a placebo. I wanted this to work so bad that it must be working, but it not really working. So I kept using the products, organic pads, for about 3 months now, and I started to really notice a difference. My period started, it was like at 7 days, it went down to 3 days, and I'm like, I don't feel itchy, I'm not uncomfortable, I'm not using as much pads. I'm like, wow. Then I started to like, I need to try to get the girls onto this, but how am I going to talk to them about their periods? Like, hey girl, you itching in your period? Like, you don't go to somebody and say that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to be the person who always have the stash for a pad when someone wants one, so I can give them an opportunity to try this pad, or like talk to a friend and be like, you feel uncomfortable in your period sometimes, just try this pad. Like, I just give out my personal stash to people, to my friends and people around me. Then eventually they started to come back to me. They're
Mm.
like, I need some more of these stuff. I'm like, ooh, it working for them too. Because I
That's
used to
so
think it was just
smart.
me. I was like, I'm on to something here.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my Instagram page and I started like educating women. Like, do you know that traditional pads are toxic? And started a little thing. I never really thought nothing of it. Still at the time, just women sharing knowledge. Like, I'm onto something. I'm putting you onto something as well. It became to people started coming back to me so much that like I'm gonna have to just do a little business or something out of this because I can't keep be trying to supply people and live my life and I was just doing my own thing,
Yeah.
you know. So I started bringing them in and like doing my little business, and then women were like, "All right, Melissa, they're very expensive, and I need more per pack." I was like, "I'm like, come on now. I don't own the brand. Like I did as much as to bring it in. I got into stores in Cayman and a few other countries at the time, just with this other brand doing my thing. But now they wanted cheaper prices and more pads per packaging. I'm like, well, I don't own this brand. I can't just go do that. Anyway, I reached out to the brand because at that time I was in a few countries, very few at the time, a few stores, very few at the time. But we were the distributor for the region for that particular brand we were selling.
Okay.
So we reached out to them and was like, hey, would you consider working with us in the Caribbean? We are a different demographic. We can maybe co-brand, create something specifically for our region.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do whatever cost splitting that we need to be able to put it to whatever we need to do. They did not believe in me. They was like, this girl gotta be crazy. Who this Caribbean girl is that? She's not in Forbes. She's not in Time. She has never been on CNN. She has never been on Essence. None of these things. Who is this random Caribbean girl thinking she can come sit, have a seat at our table? Anyway, I said, okay, I haven't seen anyone like me. So I didn't really think it was really possible anyway, but I tried. I never gave up. I continued selling the brand. I said, but how can I figure out how to meet the needs and demands of my customers here in the Caribbean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just do some research and
Okay.
say, how can I manufacture my own pads? Went down that rabbit hole, found some manufacturers, started to communicate with them, get samples, and I got tons of samples sent to me, figuring things. And I'm like, all right, I think I found it. Perfectly matched, properly customized. Trying to now manufacture it now. Reaches to the manufacturer, said, okay, I'm ready to begin. And they're like, the MOQ is like 350,000 pieces. I'm like, excuse me.
Wow.
I cannot. I don't have no investors. This is just little old me. 350,000 pieces, and that's just items, not at a cost per item. So can you imagine the
No.
dollar signs and the zeros behind? I'm like, oh my gosh,
Exactly.
I can't do this. They're like, I'm so sorry. This is the minimum order quantity, the MOQ. We cannot run our machine unless we fulfill this. I'm like, okay. At least now I know it kind of possible. I just gotta find a way to get it done. Continued my journey till eventually I kept in touch with the manufacturers, like to letting them know when we got in more countries or more stores, even if it wasn't a brand they were supplying to us or we were manufacturing. And then one day, but after a year, when I reached out to them, they told me, you know what, we'll give you a chance. You can go below the MOQ and we'll tie you on to some other stuff and make it work. I'm like, okay, we can do this. I did the panty liners.
Okay,
And now
awesome.
we're 6 sizes into our sanitary napkins, over 20 different products. Since they didn't want to give us a seat at the table, we decided to build our own. And
That's
here we are,
amazing.
Women's Haven.
So I definitely was going to ask you, like, how did you, I guess, have the courage to build like more products after you got started and it was so hard to get started? Like, what made you be like, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that? Like, talk to me about that.
Okay, so how we work is if we work as a team. So, like I said, we have no investment. You wonder where I get all this money from if I'm not this rich person, because I'm not. I'm a regular Caribbean girl and I come from no rich background. I have no family. I can go say, give me $10,000 and they're gonna just give me 10,000. I don't have that. So what we did was build a team of women. So Women's Haven is a network basically of women. So there's CEOs of Women's Haven across the entire region. So as you alluded to in the beginning, and we're in over 12 different countries, 12 countries. Each country has a CEO of Women's Haven in that country. And we operate as a team. So like I said, since they didn't choose to give me a seat at their table, the brand we were carrying before, I decided to build my own table and bring my own Caribbean girls along with me. So what we do, we sit as a board of directors for Women's Haven and we pool our money together and like say if you want to start a new product, because a lot of products were not my idea, other distributors ideas. So they'll be like, hey, we want to do this product in this region. We have customers reaching out, as customers asking, because it's all based on customer demand and
Right.
obvious need, right? So when that will be happen, we'll say, okay, well, we're interested in it for this country, this country, this country, this country. We'll all pool our money together, come up with the money that we need, purchase the products. When it reaches, we all take our share based on how much we've contributed. And that's how we've been able to operate without any investors and grow.
That's amazing. That's truly inspiring. I wanted to ask you as well, you have children, correct?
Yes, I am a mom of four,
O-
homeschool kids.
Okay. So you have girls and boys?
Yes, I have two girls and two boys. Another thing I always said, I know you're going to ask the question, but something I always say about this is that I said to myself, if it never works out with Women's Haven, I have two daughters. I'll always be known as the pad girl, and we'll have pads for the rest of our life. And here we are. It's a win-win for me with that.
So I was going to ask you about that culturally. So now that you've had this experience, do you talk to your daughters about
Oh,
like
yeah.
discussing this type of
Oh, yeah.
stuff, like women's
Oh, yeah.
health?
Oh yeah, it is not a secret in my house. When I'm on my period, everybody knows. My husband knows, my sons know, everyone knows. They are aware of the different phases of a woman's menstrual cycle, something that a lot of women and men are genuinely unaware of. Most women are aware of periods and no period. So all they know is a period when I'm actually bleeding. That's it. You have a phases.
Hmm.
There's a follicular phase, there's a luteal phase, there's an ovulatory phase, then it's the menstrual phase where you actually have your period where you bleed.
Hmm.
So you're forgetting about three other phases of your life that you're not talking about, that people are not aware of. You as a woman, like sitting here right now, are you aware of what cycle of the menstrual cycle, what phase of the menstrual cycle you're on?
No.
Most people don't know. They're going to tell you, no, I don't. I'm not on my period. And that's all I know. I'm not on the menstruation phase. But they don't have any idea where else on the cycle they are. So in my household, periods is not a taboo topic. We talk about it. If I'm on my cycle, my daughter's on her cycle, we all know, respect, and understand each other. So we're trying to break that way of being in our times where it's always a taboo. Your mama may show you how to put a pad on a panel once, and that's it. They will never be able to talk to you or never choose to talk to you about your periods. If you're itching, you think it's normal. You're heavy bleeding, you think it's normal, and it's all not. So it's not a taboo topic in this household.
Yes. So when I started looking more into women's health and women's health topics, I noticed that a lot of people that were educated on it said that you're not supposed to have 7 day cycles. You're supposed to have maybe 3 day cycles. And you
Correct.
just mentioned that as well. So I just thought that was very interesting. And I don't think women know that.
No, they think it's absolutely normal to have 1 week or 2 week cycle, and they think it's normal to bleed heavy.
Hmm.
It is not normal. Like the maximum you should be bleeding per cycle, meaning throughout that time, not per day, per cycle, is on like the normal is about 50 milliliters up to like 60 milliliters, and women are bleeding way more than that,
Hmm.
and they think it's normal. Oh, I'm bleeding through my pads. Oh, that pad. No, but you know,
So can I ask you about what chemicals you guys ended up finding in pads? I'd read bleach and some other stuff. So can you just kind of like let people know like what all has been found?
there are lots. There are bleach, recycled garbage, like stuff to anything to compose. So like how you have recycled toilet tissue, and I know some people get irritated from recycled toilet paper for tissue, and they make it and it irritates you, and that's the same thing the pad effects
Mm,
have. Like the same type of material that they're using to make pads, like recycled tissue
hmm.
kind of stuff, bleach, toxins, dioxins. There was just a study done by the University of the Free State in South Africa where they have shown through peer review research that 15 of the major brands of sanitary napkins, pads, and liners all tested positive for endocrine disruptors. But no
Wow.
one's talking about it. This was just reported in February 2026,
Wow.
and we are still using these products. They're saying, well, it's not that detrimental. It's not gonna cause a huge health effect, and that's the excuse that they're giving you. But what are the long-term effects of using these toxic products? It's just like
Well,
the
that
food that we
sounds,
eat.
yeah, that sounds very scary actually. And it sounds even scarier for people that use tampons.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds
There's a
very
study came out
scary.
from the University of Berkeley about tampons. They're in California, in the US, and tampons in itself, there's a warning on every tampon box. I don't know if anyone ever reads the box ever, but there is a warning for toxic shock syndrome
Oh, wow.
for tampons, and you can lose your limbs and you could die.
Mm.
Like, I wouldn't want to be risking that, even if the percentage is very small. That's too high of a percentage to even want, because what other effects can it have on you? It may not come out to TSS, but what other effects can it have on your body? We
Right.
wondering where we getting fibroids, infections, BVs, PCOS, endometriosis, all these things that we have no idea how we are getting them. And as women, if you think about the one thing we all use in common,
Yeah.
the one thing we all don't drink alike, we all don't eat alike, we all don't have the same experiences in our environments, but the one thing we all use that's the same is our pads.
Yeah. So, Melesia, on a different topic, I wanted to ask you, were you an entrepreneur before this?
I'm a serial entrepreneur, but before all of my entrepreneurial journey, I was in the corporate world.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's of arts in economics and business and minors in psychology and science and technology. I have a master of science in organizational learning and leadership, the proud 4.0 GPA. So I was in the corporate world for a while. I worked for the Monetary Authority here in Cayman. I worked for ExxonMobil in the oil and gas industry. So I was a manager there for a while, but my mom of four, I just wanted to be home with my kids. And when people ask me, like, what made you switch? And like,
There
what
you go.
made you get to this point? After I had my fourth child, I was like, I'm missing so much of their milestones.
Mhm.
I'm so much of a leader and I have so much ideas. I'm just stagnant in corporate environments with red tape, hierarchy, crap. Like I'm bigger than all of that. So my first business was Island Grub, which was the first online food delivery service here in the Cayman Islands.
Okay,
We were the
awesome.
first to be of our kind and a first to accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment as well here in Cayman.
Wow, you're a brave soul.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you listed a lot of things, and I feel like as entrepreneurs, you don't always have to have the background, but like I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I'm an occupational therapist, and I have my own clinic. And when I start talking about like the degrees that I got, the leadership experience that I had, the management experience that I have, I always have aha moments. I'm like, you know what? If I didn't have that experience, I
Mhm.
wouldn't know this right now. If I didn't
Yes.
go through that, then I wouldn't be able to do this. So it
Yeah.
sounds like your journey has been the same. Like
Yeah.
this all has empowered you to be who you are
Yeah.
today.
Yes, yes, essentially what it is. I wanted to be a teacher growing up, but now I'm teaching in different ways, educating women. I'm a certified menstrual coach. I mentor women across the region. I mentor my team. I've led my team for many, many years. Like all my work experiences that I've had, I've used all my knowledge there that I've attained in various different aspects to now put into what I'm doing now and be confident in what I'm doing because I worked for big corporations and I understood how things were done there. And I said, well, why can't I do it for myself? You know? So yeah.
So you said a key word there, confidence. And I wanted to bring that up to you because I know you homeschool your kids.
Hmm.
And what do you teach them about confidence?
Confidence is so important because it changes everything. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect someone else to believe in you too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to want to believe in someone who doesn't sound confident. You look at all your favorite people, YouTube or whoever, they're not some non-confident person.
No, they're
And I
not.
always try to show this to my children is that whatever you do, you have to believe in yourself. Like my children are homeschooled. They've excelled in ways that they could not have excelled in traditional school. My son is a software developer. He
Wow.
actually makes games. He has 3 courses from Harvard University, one from the University of Michigan, just did one from the University of Buffalo, and he's making games and he likes Roblox. I told my son, like, if you my children, if you want to be playing games, you cannot be consumers of the content. You need to be a producer of the content if you want to be in gaming. So he's now a game developer, makes games. He has a game on Roblox, which does very well. It's called Black Friday, doing very, very well. He makes in-game currency. My daughter, she's a digital drawer, so she draws digitally. And then she takes her drawing, animates it in Blender, and puts it in his games. So
Wow.
they have a whole thing going on for themselves. So I teach my children that find for your passion and what you want to do in life. And so that you can build your confidence in that to help you, when you grow up. So
So,
yeah.
just speaking to you, I can see that you're a very bold individual. You ask for things that you want and that you need. So, that's why I asked you that question about your children, because you seem like you would be instilling that type of things in your children. So, I'm very excited that I asked that question. So, that's great.
Yes, that's the kind of person that I am. And you would ask if I was I always like this. I know my value, but I wasn't always confident in speaking and believing in myself publicly like this. I
Mhm.
suffered from imposter syndrome for quite some time. Just being afraid to say, you're a boss lady, you own a business that's doing, it's expanded very well. Now I can come and say I am the CEO and founder of Women's Haven, the first female Caribbean-owned organic feminine care product line of its kind. Our products are sold in over 10, 12 countries across the region and over 100 different retail stores. I can say that with confidence. It rolls off my tongue,
Absolutely.
because it's the truth. Google me, AI me, it's going to tell you that. So why should I be shy or ashamed to tell you a fact about myself?
Yeah. Can you
You
brag on
got to know your
yourself a little
value.
bit and tell us about the recent awards that you won?
Sure. My most recent one was the Caribbean and African Women of Impact Award. I just received from Maryland, USA. I was sponsored by the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism as the first Caymanian to ever receive and be recognized on an international front for business and entrepreneurship. Last year, I was also awarded Entrepreneur of the Year by the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce with the Business Excellence Award. So that was in November last year. I was also a nominee for National Heroes Day by the Cayman Islands government and business and entrepreneurship as well last year. So those are my big accomplishments. I was awarded a grant from the Caribbean Development Bank as well for
Awesome.
Women's Haven, our first ever grant to have been ever received any sort of funding. And proudly, I can say with that grant, we expanded to 3 countries and improved our warehouse into a climate control warehouse, as well as restocking our entire inventory. So lots of accomplishments over the past year. I've been doing this since 2017, and I must say 2025 was my biggest year of
Okay.
accomplishments, awareness, and I say that to say that confidence again, believing in yourself
Hmm.
is very, very important because I could have given up from the time I expanded to the first country and no one cared, the
Right.
second country and no one cared, the third country and no one cared, the 50th store and no one cared, the 75th store and no one cared, the fifth store no one cared. I could have given up, like, why does no one care?
Yeah.
But it was not about that. It wasn't building a business because I was trying to be popular or trying to make money or trying to get rich quick. I built a business out of impact,
Hmm.
of purpose,
Right.
fulfilling a true need. And build businesses that are built on purpose and true impact always have a solid foundation. It's like the
Yeah.
man who built his house on the rocks versus building his house on the sand. I'm fulfilling a purpose where I'm now giving women access to safe, organic feminine care products, not just any regular feminine care products. Because most period drives and period initiatives is just find a product. Once it's a sanitary from brand, whoever wants to donate a free product, give it. No, I am beyond that.
Hmm.
I don't just want any brand. We want organic brands.
Yes.
Because even if it's not Women's Haven, choose an organic brand. Just plant the bread on the bread aisle. They all seem to sell. We all can get a piece of the pie. Like, but I gotta take over nothing. But I'm happy to be the first of its kind in our region, you know.
That was so powerful. I'm so glad that you just expressed that to everybody that's listening. So, if someone wanted to reach out to you, how can they find you on social media, and how can they get your products? Say, for example, I'm in the United States, so where can I find the products in the United States?
In the US, you can find us on Amazon.
Okay.
So you can purchase there or on our website, womenshaven.com. Just you can choose United States as your country. On our website, it's a multi-country website. So you just choose United States. Your currency will adjust to the United States dollar. You
Okay.
can purchase directly on our website. We have a flat rate shipping. So you would see a $10 shipping fee on our website, but it's flat rate. So it doesn't matter how much products you purchase, it's still a flat rate of $10 shipping, or you can go on Amazon, as I mentioned before. You can find us on social media. Our handle on Instagram is at The Women's Haven.
Okay.
You can find us at Women's Haven on Facebook. My Instagram is Mrs. Adderley, MRS Adderley, Adderley, on Instagram. Once you find me there, you can just click the link on my bio and it'll take you to all my other social media pages as well.
Well, I thoroughly appreciated your time today, and it was very insightful, and hopefully, a lot of people can listen and learn from this.
Thank you very much for this opportunity for having me. I really appreciate that. Every bit of exposure is beneficial. And when people reach out to me like yourself, and I don't know you, I really appreciate you just giving me this opportunity to talk about Women's Haven and help to educate other women about choosing safe, organic feminine care products. Like let your Yoni, you're down there, be of value because we spend so much money on our hair. We spend money on makeup, nails, lashes, everything. What about down there? How expensive are you treating down there? Are you wearing $2 pads? Because you wouldn't be wearing no $2 hair. You wouldn't be wearing no $2 lashes because you want quality.
Yes,
So, take care of down there.
I'm inspired. Thank you so much.
Thank you.